For more tutorials, make sure you subscribe and hit on the notification icon so you get notified when I release new videos. Hello guys, from this video and the other videos you'll be learning how to use C#, and MySQL. And if you are a beginner, then this video will be useful because we'll start with basics, later on we get into advanced. So first we will learn how to create a project, and over here I'm using Visual Studio 2019. So you click on create on project, then choose C# and hit on next. Give your project name. So let's say C_sharp and MySQL series. MySQL, let's choose tutorial, not the series, and hit on create. And as it's create, over here we're using SQL Workbench. And if you have MySQL, then you're also good to go, or you can use Workbench, which is also good. But in this tutorial, in this video series, we'll be using MySQL Workbench. So if you don't know how to install MySQL or XAMPP, then you need to watch my other videos on how to install SQL and how to install SQL and enter data in the create databases and stuff like that. Okay, now our project is created. Let's expand this. Okay, so this is our form, and now this is the interface. So the few things which is very important here. This start here is what we use to run our project after we finish building it. This is our data source. You have any database and you want to connect to it, you can do it here automatically. Then this is our toolbox, and a very important part of this IDE toolbox. Let's pin it. Then we have our property section. Let's pin that one also. Now we are good to go. So first let's learn how to connect our C# application with MySQL database. So any database of your choosing would work. So let's double click on the form, and it will take us to the form load event. But before we start coding, we need to add reference to MySQL. So we come to Solution Explorer, then we'll right click on references and click add reference. If you've already installed MySQL, which is Workbench, then defaultly you will install the connector. But if you choose to install XAMPP, or you choose to use XAMPP, then you have to download MySQL connector. We have different versions, so find the version which suits your PC. And a lot of times I recommend you use the current versions. So let me search. When you install it, you get the connector, which is this one, MySQL.data. Select it and hit on OK. Now we've imported or added reference to we've added reference to our C# application using MySQL. So we need to import MySQL now before we can use it. So we type using MySQL. You can see it starts appearing .data. That one to start appearing .data. So you can see one .data .MySQL client. Then don't forget to terminate. Now, in our load event, let's put our code in our load event. So when the form load, immediately it connects to the database. So how do we do that? First, let's put everything in try catch block. Now try and the catch block, it catch exceptions. In other words, it catch errors. So if we haven't any error, it won't let our application crash, but rather tell us, hey, we are having an error here, fix it before we continue, and it will prevent our application from crashing. So as a beginner, I recommend you always use try catch block. So let's see my SQL exception. You can see shows up EX, and we need another curly brace. Okay, now we need to show the message if there is an error. Show, and that's how we show message. EX dot message. EX dot message. Okay, don't rush, let us be slow because we are beginners so that we can understand what we're doing here very well. Now, this message box here is just a function, and this show is also a function. So you call them, then it shows the message or the error which is refusing us from connecting to our database. So this EX here is an event of an exception. So it will catch it and then show it to us. So later on when you run it, you will see how it works. So in between this curly brace and that one, so we can even do this and bring this one down so you can see clearly. Add spaces so you can see clearly. In between this curly brace and this, that we put our code to connect our database. First we declare a string. This is string. Let's see if I give it any name, but I'll say my con string. And this con string will set it equal to our server parameters. And remember, our database is stored on our local PC. So first we say server, which is then equal to our server here is on our local PC. So we say localhost. We terminate. Then we say the root is also equal to root. So in other words, not to confuse yourself, say user who is using the database is equal to root. We terminate that one too. Then we say pwd, which is password. Anytime you are installing MySQL, you will provide a password so that the password is your credential to also, which will help you to log into your database all the time. Then, so you provide that password. Mine is Slyman. Terminate. Then the database you want to connect to, the name of the database you want your application to connect to, and start querying it. I'm using this database called doctors_details. We can connect to any database. Just type the name into it. And we okay. Then after here, we terminate. Termination. Nice. Now we say my SQL connection, calling the connection function. Then we declare a variable to hold our connection, and I'll say con is equal to new MySQL connection. Don't always forget the semicolon. In other words, don't forget to terminate it, which is this part right here. Just this one. If you take this one off, you always get an error. So don't always forget to terminate it or to end your statement. So now, this MySQL con here, we assigned our connection string to it, which is con string. Okay. Now we've done this, let's declare another variable with MySQL data adapter and see it is called my adapter, and it's equal to new MySQL data adapter, and you will end the statement there. Now let's say my adapter dot select command is equal to new MySQL command. Then you perform a simple query here. Don't forget to bring this to end the line to take away all errors, and we are good to go. Let's say select star. And once again, if you're not familiar with MySQL or SQL, we need to watch my other videos on MySQL. It's pretty simple, just about 10 videos. Remember, I think this is for basics. Later on, we get into advanced projects, so you get to understand more, but you need to start from the basics. So select star from doctors underscore details. Then you need the command takes two things. It takes the text, which is the query, and then the connection. Our connection is con. And we're good to go. Okay. Now we've done this, we need a MySQL command builder, and you say cb is equal to new MySQL command builder, and you say you set it to my adapter. Okay. Then now, anytime you deal with database, you need to open and close. So you say database to open, and don't forget to enter line. Then if the database opens, which means you successfully connected, then we want to show a message and say show it's want to say connected. Okay, then after we've connected, then we want to close our database nicely to avoid errors. Say close. Okay, now let me walk you guys through one last thing. Okay, let's test it before. So let's run this bad boy. It's connecting. You can see our build succeeded, which means there are no exceptions. You can see we have a message box showing connected, which means we successfully connected to a database. So if I click OK, it will show us the form. So let's click OK, and you can see we are connected to our database. Okay, let me walk you guys through one last time. Now, we declare a string. Now, this string here, you come here, you come to MySQL, and you come to server. Let me confuse you guys. You just declare a string called constraint, and in MySQL database, that is called a server. And the server, any database installed onto your local PC is called localhost. So that's the name of your server. It is on a local PC. Then the user is always root unless you change it. You have a password when you are installing your database. You provide a password in the database you want to connect to. These four properties are the properties you need to provide in order to connect to your database. And once you connect, we declare a connection. So this one becomes a connection string. Then this is the connection itself. Then we give it a name, a local variable called con. Now this con, we assign the connection string to con. Then we declare a database MySQL adapter. Then we assign this simple query to it. We open and close, and when we open, it means you successfully connected. Then we show the message of what connected. So let's take off one. In order to see that, let's take this T and see if it will work, or let's see if our catch exception is working perfectly. You can see unable to connect to any of the specified MySQL host, which means it does not save the host, which means in other words it can't find your server. But you see, it means our software or our system doesn't crash. It takes us back to the form because it means our try catch is working perfectly. And let's provide the key, and let's take off, let's type the password wrong and see what happens. You see, unable authentication. Anytime you hear authentication, which means it is talking about wrong password. So you can see access denied root localhost using password. Yes, which means we haven't provided a correct password. And once again, our try catch is working perfectly. And let's try with the database by taking just S. So you need to provide the correct credentials. So you see, it's an unknown database. So our try catch is working fine. Let's provide the correct one and see if it connects again. You can see it is connected. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. See you in the next tutorial. You'll learn how to insert data into our database. Bye.